Welcome to the Explainer. So let's just jump right in, because 2024 is absolutely going down in history, not just as another year in the football calendar, but as a definitive, literal turning point. For nearly 2 decades, Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo have completely monopolized the global stage, right? They completely redefined what we thought was humanly possible on a pitch. But that legendary era? It's officially giving way to a fiercely talented, incredibly hungry new generation. Let's be blunt here. The throne of global football is finally empty. The era of the undisputed two kings has passed. And what's absolutely fascinating for us as fans is discovering exactly who is going to rule this sport for the next decade. Who actually has the numbers, the raw talent, and just the sheer willpower to step up and claim that crown? Well, let's take a look. Section 1. Lamine Yamal, the expected successor. Now, if you've been watching Barcelona lately, you already know the clear frontrunner here, 17-year-old Lamine Yamal. And he isn't just playing well, he is literally breaking records registered to Messi himself. He became the youngest player to score and start for both Barcelona and the Spanish national team. And when you look at his historical output, it's just mind-blowing. At just 17, Yamal has 102 matches, 22 goals, and 33 assists. To put that into perspective, at that exact same age, Cristiano Ronaldo had 19 matches and 5 goals, and Messi just 9 matches and a single goal. Mirroring Messi's dribbling, passing, and shooting skills, Yamal's early numbers completely dwarf both of their teenage starts combined. But wait, it actually doesn't stop there. Even if we compare him to the recent generation, Yamal stands alone. Take Kylian Mbappe's explosive teenage years at Monaco. At 17, Mbappe was turning heads with 46 matches and 26 goals. But Yamal's sheer match experience and incredible playmaking ability, 33 assists, at the exact same age, put him in a league entirely of his own. He is already a central pillar for both his club and his country. So, what does this all mean financially? Well, this statistical dominance translates into some serious economic weight. Looking at La Liga's under-21 market values, Yamal's value has already skyrocketed to 90 million euros. He's trailing only Real Madrid's established Galacticos, Jude Bellingham, and Eduardo Camavinga, who are, a few years older than him. Possessing a market value of 90 million euros as a teenager is simply unprecedented. Moving on to Section 2, the clash of global talents. Now, Yamal is absolutely phenomenal, right? But he isn't the only teenager getting ready to inherit the earth. The global battleground is fiercely competitive, and clubs everywhere are arming themselves with generational talents, all trying to find their own Messi or Ronaldo. Just look at the heavy hitters rounding out the NXGN Top 10 list alongside him. You've got the Brazilian sensation Endrick. Over in France, there's Warren Zaire-Emery, who is already Paris Saint-Germain's youngest scorer and a total central figure in their post-Mbappe rebuild. Then there's Arda Güler at Real Madrid, and Kobbie Mainoo, who has emerged as a brilliant midfield anchor for Manchester United and England, totally celebrated for his exceptional composure on the ball. The big takeaway here is how aggressively the top clubs are moving to secure these assets. Real Madrid, for instance, is actively trying to monopolize the future. They secured Endrick, who is often hailed as the new Ronaldo and the most exciting Brazilian talent since Neymar, by triggering a 60 million euro release clause. And they paired him up with Arda Güler, famously dubbed the Turkish Messi for his crazy dribbling in tight spaces, for an initial 20 million euros. And we absolutely can't ignore the South American pipeline, which continues to produce players carrying the heavy burden of being the next global icon. You have Claudio Echeverri, nicknamed El Diablito, who Manchester City just snapped up. His River Plate teammate Franco Mastantuono became the club's youngest ever scorer at just 16. We also can't forget Gianluca Prestiani, who actually inherited Messi's famous La Pulga, or the Flea nickname, in Argentina before moving to Benfica to develop his immense talent. Over at Barcelona, they brought in Vitor Roque, another player compared to the legendary Brazilian Ronaldo. The sheer volume of talent coming across the Atlantic is staggering. So, all of this really brings us to one massive, narrative-defining question. With all this unprecedented teenage talent spread across Europe and South America, who actually wins the biggest individual prize in the sport? If everyone is a prodigy, who actually becomes the king? Which brings us to Section 3, AI predictions for the future. To try and answer who will ultimately take the crown, the British network Give Me Sport actually asked ChatGPT to predict the Ballon d'Or winners from 2026 all the way to 2040, analyzing current form, age, and future potential. And it maps out a fascinating future. It predicts Lamine Yamal taking the crown very early in 2026, potentially off the back of a World Cup win, followed closely by Kylian Mbappé claiming the prize at Real Madrid in 2027. It then sees Endrick claiming the prize in 2030, which is another World Cup year. Further down the timeline, players like Arda Güler and Kobe Mainoo are projected to dominate late in their careers, winning the ultimate individual prize in 2037 and 2040, respectively. But guys, here is the absolute wildest part. The AI boldly predicts that Lamine Yamal won't just win it once. It projects him to win the Ballon d'Or a staggering 3 times, specifically in 2026, 2029, and 2032. If this comes true, it would firmly cement Yamal's status as a historic legend, placing him in the elite company of players like Johan Cruyff, Michel Platini, and Marco van Basten. It's also really fascinating to see that the AI predicts a massive resurgence of South American dominance in the late 2030s. It predicts that the immense potential of today's prospects will finally be fulfilled, with Chelsea's Brazilian prospect Esteval Willian winning in 2033, followed by the Argentine duo of Claudio Echeverri in 2038 and Franco Mastantuono in 2039. The AI clearly believes that while Europe holds the power right now, the future of football remains heavily rooted in South America. So, what is the bottom line for us as fans? The stats, the market values, and these AI predictions all point to one thrilling conclusion. The era of a simple two-player monopoly might be over forever. We are entering an age of fierce, unpredictable global competition. Will we ever see another Messi Ronaldo duopoly? Or are we looking at a future where a different prodigy claims the throne every few years? I'll leave you to debate the AI's timeline, but one thing is absolutely for sure. The future of football is in incredibly exciting hands. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep your eyes on the pitch and never stop learning.